everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited today to be filming this video because it's one I've wanted to make for a while. So if you're wondering why I'm talking about the Disney College program when one, it has not been a thing for like 8 months because of COVID, and two, there's no date announced right now as to when it's coming back. Two reasons I want to talk about it. One, I don't think you can ever prepare too early for the college program. So one day it's obviously going to come back, and I think the more you kind of know about it now, the more prepared you're going to be. I personally started watching videos like 5-6 years before I did the program, and they helped me out a ton. So if you're ever considering doing the program, I would suggest watching videos about people's experiences or tips on applying. That's the first reason. The other reason is that I know if I wait a few years to make videos, I'm just gonna forget everything since my program was already like over, well, like 8 months ago. So I'm gonna put them out there now. When the college program resumes, these videos will be more relevant. But as for now, it's just me talking about my experience. So it's kind of hard to make like one big video on my experience on the college program because there's so many different things I could talk about, and this video could literally end up being like hours if I focused on certain elements. So I figured to make this video kind of short and concise, I would do a Q&A on Instagram. So I recently asked on Instagram people to send me in questions about my experience. So thank you everyone who sent in questions. I'm happy I actually have some to answer and it's not me just sitting here with like one question. So just to give you guys like a brief little background before I jump into questions, I had the role of merchandise on my college program, and I was located in Fantasyland, which is in Magic Kingdom if you're not aware. And I did the program in fall of 2019 and then extended into spring 2020, which did get cut short because of COVID, but basically did like 1.5 programs. And with that, I will jump into the first question that says, was merch your #1 preference? If not, what was? Yes, merchandise was my #1 role. I once watched a video of someone who was merchandise, and I saw that you were able to trade a bunch of shifts and work pretty much anywhere, and that like sold me on the role of merchandise. Not only could you trade shifts, but your outfit or costume rather would be like different for every location. So I thought that was so cool. I did work I think like 23 locations on my program, so merchandise was amazing. I loved it. The next question is, what was your favorite place to work? If we aren't talking like trading or picking up new shifts, my absolute favorite place to work was my home location of Fantasyland, which is pretty rare actually. I met a lot of people who traded around who really didn't like their location or who loved picking up a specific location like way more than theirs. So I actually was really lucky that my location I was like based in was my absolute favorite. However, my other friend did ask, what was your favorite location you picked up a shift in? My favorite location that I picked up a shift in would have to be Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios. I absolutely loved working there. You basically worked in like outside carts mostly, and Toy Story Land is just such like a fun vibe, and the music's amazing, and yeah, literally so fun. I think I picked up like 3 or 4 or 5 shifts there. I don't know. I was always in Toy Story Land if I wasn't in Fantasyland. The next question is, did you have a good roommate experience? I feel so lucky that I can say yes to this question because I knew of so many people that did not have good experiences. I had seen like YouTube videos of like horror stories. I just knew people like personally that did not get along with their roommates. So I'm not gonna lie, before doing the program, I was like terrified at the thought of living with random people. Like I was like, there is no way I'm gonna get good roommates. Like they're gonna be awful. Like, okay, not awful, but I was just like, you don't know what to expect. But I will say that I had like the most incredible roommates both programs because I had 5 different ones in the fall and then 5 different ones in the spring. And the fact that I had like that many good roommates, I feel pretty blessed about that. I actually made a DCP roommate video. I will link that in the description below. But I basically do a Q&A with my former roommate, and we just answer questions like first impression of each other, did we fight, stuff like that. So if you want to know a little bit more about my roommate situation, that's going to be in the video below. Another question I got was, did you ever have a rude guest? If yes, tell us how you handled it. Miss you. I miss you too, first of all. Secondly, honestly, I wish I could say yes, and I wish I had this like crazy dramatic story to tell you guys, but I personally feel like the role of merchandise, I did not encounter too many rude guests. Like I feel like other roles got it a lot worse with guests, so sorry about that. Mostly like quick service, food and beverage. But honestly with merchandise, like the most you would get is you would tell people you were out of a size or like you didn't have something in stock, and they would just kind of like walk away or say something under their breath or like kind of rudely speak back to you. But honestly, like I never really let it bother me. I would definitely have people that weren't the nicest at times, but no like rude guest that stands out to me. I did have someone try and steal in front of me, but my coordinator kind of stepped in and I kind of had to like step out and help someone else. So not a rude guest, but I did have that. Another question was, what was your favorite thing to do on your DCP bucket list? Ooh, so because I grew up going to Disney, it was actually hard for me to make like a bucket list on my DCP of things I've never done before. But I will say it was going to the water parks, because I never did that growing up. Like my family and I just always did the parks. So on my program, I made sure to do the water parks because one, you could get in for free, so like why not? And two, because I never did it. So I was super happy I checked that off my bucket list. Okay, I got this one several times. Someone said, what was your favorite part of the entire thing? Someone said, what was your favorite part of your program? And someone said, what was your favorite part of the DCP? So I'm assuming I can just compile those all into one answer. My favorite memory, well, this is like the hardest thing to choose, had to be my first day of traditions. So if you don't know what traditions is, it's basically where you go and it's like your first day of working for Disney. So it's where you get like your little name tag, it's where you get your blue ID. It's basically like where you become an official cast member. So getting a little like white name tag with my name on it was the most like surreal thing ever. I had seen people wearing those name tags like all my life, and I always thought I would be the happiest girl ever to get to wear one day. And that was, yeah, that was like my favorite moment. Like I feel like I could have exploded with happiness in that moment. So definitely like the day I officially became a cast member. My one friend said, are you friends with Mickey? Yes, I'm best friends with Mickey, but not in an entertainment way, if you know what I mean. Someone asked, did working for Disney make the parks less magical, or did it add even more to the magic? This is such a good question, and actually one I asked myself before doing the program. I was like, Hannah, is this gonna like ruin Disney for you since you love it so much? But absolutely no, it did not take away like anything for me. If anything, it absolutely like enhanced it. Just seeing kind of like all that goes into it made me appreciate it like so much more when I would go again as a guest. I appreciate now so much more just like the cast members. I just know the crazy hours they put in. I know kind of what they have to deal with. I also just really appreciate like all the rehearsals, a lot of the entertainment and musicians have to do. And I don't know, yeah, it definitely made me appreciate it more. Did not take away the magic like a single bit. Also, I think a way it added to the magic was when you worked for Disney, you were the one like creating that magic. So I feel like if you already thought Disney was like a magical, cool place, being able to work there with your goal being creating magic made the magic level like 10,000% higher than ever. My friend said, did you miss me? Yes, I miss you, Serena. My other friend said, are you happy I visited you twice? Yes, Neela, I am happy. I will say that actually added to my experience so much if we're talking about my experience as a whole. I was really concerned I was gonna be like homesick on my program and just like miss my family and friends a lot, but I actually had family and friends visit so often. So I feel like if you're doing a program and you're concerned about that, try and see if you can like plan a few trips with your family to visit you or friends to visit you. That added to my experience so much, so very happy about that. Someone asked, did your experience shape what you want your future job to be, or did your goals stay the same? I feel like it did help shape my goals a bit and kind of made me realize what I loved. I won't say like I walked out of it being like, oh my gosh, I want my future job to be this or that, but I will say it made me realize that I want to work for a company like Disney, basically one that is just so people oriented, and that's main goal is to kind of like create happiness. And I always loved like possibly doing something with hotels, weddings, anything that people get really excited about and look forward to. And I love being the person to be able to like deliver that happiness. So I feel like it possibly led me a little bit more in the direction of like hospitality, but I won't say I walked out of it with like a future job being any more clear to me. But I mean, hey, my future job could be like the CEO of Disney. I mean, like, I'll take that if that answers the question. Someone said, any regrets or things you wanted to do but didn't get to / didn't have time. I will say I think I did most of the things that were on my like Disney college program bucket list. Like I did hotel hopping, I did like roommate gifts, I did everything that I always watched people do on DCP videos. I guess I wish I did like a few more things outside of the Disney area. Maybe explored a few more towns or kind of found like a few more cool hole-in-the-wall places. So yeah, I guess like any like regrets of mine or anything I wish I had more time to do was exploring a little bit more of the Florida area outside of the Disney bubble. Another question I got was, what's your favorite memory of when you were at work in Fantasyland? I saw this question come through and I love it. At the same time, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to answer this because my mind is flooded with like memory after memory that was just like amazing. But there is one that will always stick out to me, so that's one I'll share about. So basically, Fantasyland, if you're not aware like of the location, it is like directly behind Cinderella's castle. So the fireworks go off like above that land like every night, and they're very, very loud because they literally shoot off like right there. So basically at night, the stores always tend to clear out. It's usually just like 2 cast members in there, but like no people because they're all watching the fireworks. Anyways, one time I was just in there with another cast member, no one was in the store, and this mom comes in and her son is like sobbing. He's just so scared from the fireworks going off. He's like covering his ears, and I'm pretty new at this point. I just started my program like a week or 2 ago, and I was just kind of standing there like, what the heck do I do? But I saw that there was another cast member who was able to kind of manage the registers, and so I go over to this little boy, I get on my knees, I start talking to him, find out he's just like so scared of the sound, and basically I asked him if he would want to watch the fireworks if I held his hand and sat next to him. Keep in mind he was like 3 years old, and the mom's like eyes lit up and the little boy like nodded yes. So he grabs my hand, and his hand is like so tiny and cute, and we go like right outside the store and we both just sit down and watch the fireworks, and he just kind of like leaned his head on me, and I was like, I like died in that moment. I was like, this is why working for Disney is like the best thing ever, because of moments like this. So basically he ended up watching the fireworks, just kind of snuggled up against me, and then at the end I went and got him this little button and I wrote, I'm celebrating being brave, and I gave it to him. And yeah, that memory just like stands out to me. I just had so many cool like experiences like that, and Disney definitely provides you a lot of room to make these like magical moments for guests, so I definitely tried to take advantage of a lot of those. A lot of the questions were pretty similar. Obviously I don't mind at all, they were all amazing, so thank you all for sending them, but a lot of them are really similar, just kind of like favorites, favorite locations, stuff like that. So I feel like I've already kind of answered them all in a way. So yeah, all in all, my experience on the college program was a super positive one. I made incredible friends, I had incredible roommates, I feel like I had the most incredible work location, and I had my absolute top role. So I remember when I applied for the program, I had my phone interview. I talked to my interviewer a lot about the role of merchandise, and at the end I actually did ask her for the location of Fantasyland. I didn't like ask her aggressively, but she asked if I had any questions at the end, and I just threw in there that I would love to work in Fantasyland. So that was amazing that that actually happened. While nothing is perfect, I will say my experience was as close to perfect as anything could possibly be. And yeah, I feel like so overwhelmed to say that because I know not everyone's experience was the same. I will end on this final question because like I asked this question all the time, so I figured I would answer it here, and that is, would I ever work for Disney again, or do I have any plans of working for Disney again? So I currently do not have any plans of working for Disney again. There's been no college program like announcements as to when they're opening them. There's not really been like too many job openings. So as of right now, I do not have plans to work there again. However, would I ever work there again? Absolutely, hands down, I would love to work for Disney again. If I never get the chance to, I am just thankful for the time I did have with Disney. But yes, I would love to work for them again. Maybe you'll see me working there again, maybe not. But all that to say, I had an incredible experience on my Disney college program. I still want to make a few videos just about like my application process, because let me tell you, it was a wild process. It took me 4 times to get an interview. So I kind of want to make like a separate video about that. I also want to make a video about how the college program wasn't exactly what I expected, and not in a bad way, but I just kind of wanted to point out some things that like I wasn't aware of. So yeah, I just want to make more Disney videos, but this one is kind of my first one. So yeah, thank you guys so much for sending in questions, and I will see you guys in my next video.